Hi folks, well it's that time of year where I need to update you from the first episode and let's have a look at what progress has been made in the last 4 to 6 weeks since the first showing. Come on inside. Totally not rehearsed, this is just me and my daughter messing about in the man cave. First of all, I'll show you this contraption. It has attracted a little bit of attention on the internet. It turns out that everybody I know has a lathe, and I want a lathe, but I'm too tight to buy one. So I've made this. So I'd stand back, Isabel. This is I'm patenting this, and I'm selling these kits at because they're RD kits. It's got to be £1,000 a time. So it looks like this. Turn it on. Off it goes. Bit of sandpaper. How good's that? As you can see, it's a cheap Wicks pedestal drill, inverted on its side, with the centre shaft removed, and I think it's brilliant. I have been struggling a little bit with these wheels. It's a horrible job, wheels. Now I could have paid somebody to blast them and do the job for me, but I don't want to do that. I want to do it the hard way. I did create a caustic soda bath, which had limited results. What I did find is obviously the caustic soda reacts very aggressively with the aluminium and it starts gassing off. But a good friend of mine, Ian Gibson from Wigan Car Paints, just a shout out for Wigan Car Paints though, they don't just do car paints, they'll do any bike paint, especially matching classic bike colours, and then quite a few of my friends now are going to Wigan Car Paints as a first choice supplier. But I got this stuff. This is, I don't know what it's called, HD paint stripper. Basically it's the stuff that they've taken out of Nitromorse and put it in here. I think you can only get it for commercial use now, but it's wicked stuff. It really does do what it says on the tin and strips paint. It's very aggressive. You've got to have all the safety gear on. If you get it on your skin, it starts burning immediately, but it's absolutely great. So moving on to the progression of the bike, one thing that has been really difficult, and it's not my area of expertise at all, is the wiring. I did get the wiring loom onto the bike. Took quite a few hours. Also fitting the patent indicators, I've had to make sub looms up, etc. I did get this strap, what I was missing, off the internet, off Stuart Bennett, I think his name was. Good guy, easy to deal with. PayPal'd him, got me that over. If you just come over here, this is where it starts to get really quite difficult when you start to join anything up. I did attach a battery to it the other day, and I did get some of the electrics working. I've got a friend of mine, Dave Smith, coming down next week. He's really good on this stuff. I'm going to see if he can give me a bit of a lift. Also, did drop on, these have been recommended to me. These are Banshee coils, and Steve from Preston, I got them today. He's depressed me somewhat. I saw his LCs today and they're absolutely stunning bikes. And it's got a really nice LG500 stashed away there too. So thank you very much for him. I've also got a set from my mate too, so we'll get them on. Apparently they're supposed to give a really good spark. What else has been happening? Yeah, one thing that proved to be a little bit difficult on the RD350, when I come to fit the rear tray, nothing aligned. On further inspection, it would look like I've at some point endoed the bike, completely bowing out the rear subframe and rear chassis and twisting it. And I was a bit disappointed at this point because obviously I've had it powder coated, etc. I haven't actually got them here, but I got two very large sash clamps, and with a bit of brute force and ignorance, I managed to squeeze and push and pull, and I've got everything back realigned. Hangers back on. They have been vapor blasted. That's come out really well. I've had all these parts olive greened. I've put some patent foot pegs on there. Sue's brought me a hot chocolate. She's very generous of her. Thank you very much, Sue. So yeah, I've put the hangers on. The brake switch is on. This has come up really well. It's been done in olive green. So that's all ready to go. Got the rear wheel pullers on. Now then, I did make a mistake. I went through high level and I got loads of bits, and for some strange reason I've ended up with 20 rear pullers and about 10 sets of brake seals. So if anybody wants a set, just give us a shout. I'll only take a couple of quid off you just to cover my cost. So yeah, if you need any, just give us a shout. Had a bit of a thought about the front brakes on the RD350LC, because I'm not that precious about this going absolute standard. It's already got stainless fasteners on, etc. I've seen a couple of people now who have done a blue spot conversion, and we're talking to Steve today and my friend Neil Gildert, who's got a really nice LC. I'm going to go down the blue spot route. By the time I've refurbished the original master cylinder and brakes, you know, for a few quid more, I can put an FZR or an FZ 600 master cylinder on, some blue spots. They make a little laser cut bracket here. I'll just end up with a much better braking system, and all in all, it's going to probably cost 150 quid. And for a bike that I'm not bothered about being nut and bolt perfect, I think that's pretty good. So that's where I'm up to on the 350. Moving on to the 250, I've held back from stripping this down because it's made a great point of reference to the 350, because it's pretty much standard, not been messed about with. So from the wiring harness and the engine perspective, it really does give me a visual point of reference. What I have done, including the original 250 crank, I had in total 3 cranks, all in various states of disrepair. I think I've done well. I got this back from Gramps, a fully reconditioned crank, and it's cost me 140, which I'm quite pleased about really, because the 350 crank, I got a brand new one and there was not much change there to 400 quid. So I'm going to get that done next week. Unfortunately, my barrels aren't back from Gramps. One of the guys is off, which is unusual for Gramps because they're normally quick turnaround, so hopefully I'll get them back. I've just held back a little bit. If you just have a look here, this is where the gear change shaft comes through. Now, Norbo, as I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this is aware of, his site, he supplies a small bush in there. Now, I did have this on a bike in the 90s. Basically, you bore this centre out and you put I think it's a nylon or Teflon bush in, and it just makes that movement for the shaft so much easier, and it stops the shaft wearing through. So I'm going to do that next week. I've got to order the parts. Got these carbs back from the Vapor Blaster. Now, I have had some people comment about media still in parts coming back from the Vapor Blaster, but a big shout out to F&J Motorcycles over in Skemersdale. He puts them in an electrolysis bath or whatever it is, what's it called, sonic bath, before he returns them to you. And you know, I've examined these, there's no media in these whatsoever, and he really knows what he's doing, and for a really modest amount of money, you know, you get a car back looking like that, and you know, it's just perfect. You could never get that level of finish and cleanliness doing it by hand. Workshop's looking a bit of a mess. Going to tidy that up. Here's one, a bit of a find. I did notice on Fleabay that Microns were going for stupid money, and I remembered I had a set tucked away somewhere. So I give them a good clean up, and I've decided I'm going to bang these on the 250. I have got a really mint set of standard pipes, but you know what, I can put them in the attic and save them for a rainy day. So these are going to go on the 250. I can't believe how much money people are paying for a good set of these. They're going for 500 plus now. But it is what it is, you can't get them anymore, so people are going daft. I've just got to, and I haven't done any of this stuff since I was an apprentice, but there's just a couple of pinholes. I used a caustic soda bath to give them a good pickling, and if you just look there, there's a couple of pinholes come in the header pipes, but I'm just going to braze them. Well, I was going to try and TIG it, but you know, it's easy enough to braze them. But I love them pipes. I think they're great. So, and they look good on that 250 as well. They're originally power valve pipes, but all you've got to do is drill another hole in the carrier bracket. So jobs for this week coming up. Over to Gramps on Tuesday, Grampian in Liverpool. Pick up the 350 barrels rebored with power valve machined pistons in. The 250 barrels machined bored. Get these wheels sorted and then start painting. We're going to paint them at Hindley Tyres and Auto Parts. That's Stuart over there. He's a really good painter, he's a good guy. And just out of interest, the guys over there who all own LCs, they've also built a dyno room, which is really good. I helped them put some doors in last week, so it might be worth it if any of you guys want to put something in the dyno, give those guys a shout, because they all know the stuff regarding LC setups and setting carbs up, so you might be able to save yourself a few quid there, and it's just a shout out to a couple of mates of mine. So yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. If anybody's got any tips, hints, help, or whatever, please send some comments below or just message me. I really appreciate any help that's been sent my way. Okay folks, I'll update us again in about 6 weeks time. I did promise that would be MOT by the end of November, which quite clearly that's not happened. Okay.